Husband did me a solid. I have 1 hour to myself, no kids, to update y'all on postpartum life, do what I can around this house. So here we go. First things first, let me not look like a complete bum and at least pretend that I have not been living in the same hoodie and sweats for I don't know how long. I'm not gonna lie, I have been keeping a bandana on my head, I've been hiding under a hat, only really leaving the house for doctor's appointments, and I'm kind of okay with that. But for the sake of updating y'all and just sharing what's been going on this postpartum season, I'm gonna at least make myself presentable. Hey, what's up? I'm Alex and welcome to Let's Talk About It. If you missed last week's episode, we were talking about quitting your job, quitting friendships, quitting relationships, quitting anything that is no longer serving you at your best. So if you haven't yet, tune into that episode and let us know what you think. Today we are doing another solo sit down and I am updating you guys on everything that has happened since my home birth 5 weeks ago. If you missed that video, also please check it out. If you're interested in doing a home birth or a birth care center birth, I kind of unpack some of the differences that I encountered in those different settings, so check that out as well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about where I'm at now. I've had a baby 5 weeks ago. I now have 2 kids under 2. What does my postpartum era look like? Am I surviving? Blink if you need help, and just kind of be real with you guys. For context, I have 3 kids. I have a 14-year-old, a 22-month-old, almost 2, and a 5-week-old. I'm not ready to go back to work yet. I am still enjoying my newborn bubble. My baby is so young, and anybody that has had kids knows how quickly this time passes. Like, what's the phrase? The days are long, but the years are short. Meaning, like, when you're in it, it feels like time might be moving so slowly because you're tired, you're sleep deprived, it's a never-ending assembly line of diapers, but then you blink and next thing you know, your baby has teeth or they're walking or et cetera, et cetera. So I really, especially because this was my last pregnancy, I really want to soak in all of these moments. I don't want to have any regrets, and work will be there. And I'm grateful that I have agents that understand that and aren't like rushing me to like jump back into something that I'm not ready for. And yeah, my baby's just too young, y'all. Like, it's cold outside. I am not trying to schlep her with me to New York for a job right now. I just want to stay home and love on my babies, I will say this postpartum period looks incredibly different than anything that I have ever been through before. When my husband and I had our son, he was in new territory because he was a first-time dad. He's the bonus dad to our 14-year-old. But this was his first time coming into parenthood with just, a fresh one. And so he was in new territory, but I wasn't because, I had been through all this before. But now with 3 kids and 2 under the age of 2, I am also in new territory. There was such an age gap between my first pregnancy and my second that I had time to gather myself and, my body had time to, heal and do what it had to do. It was almost like, let me put it this way. I felt like my second pregnancy was almost like being pregnant the first time all over again because I literally had over a decade between the pregnancies. I didn't have that much time. I can tell the difference and like the toll that it took on my body having pregnancies that were a little bit closer together. Also having a toddler to chase around that's always just kind of like pulling on you physically and metaphorically, wanting your attention, wanting your energy, and then still trying to, nurse and give your attention to this like little tiny baby. Like, we are in new territory and we kind of are still figuring out what our day-to-day looks like. What is our new normal, if you will? I think what what we have decided on for this year is like, we didn't do any big resolutions or anything, right? We were like, all right, we need to plan and just go in small digestible chunks. So any goals that we have are not big and lofty. They are just like 48-hour goals. You know, can we keep the kids alive for the next 48 hours and get ourselves fed? My husband and I joked, we were like, I can't imagine like us getting a divorce right now. Like, even if something terrible happened, even if you cheated, your mistress can come over here and pick a shift, because right now it is like divide and conquer. We're good. But even if we weren't, we were like, like we would have to come to some kind of agreement where we are going to rock it out with each other until the kids become of certain age, because this is not, I don't know how people do it. Like, I was a single mom before with one kid, but a single mom to multiples, like I literally just want to hug every parent of multiples that I see on the street and just tell them that they are doing a good job, because they are. And they're superheroes. And now I understand. You know, if you even got out the house today and you have multiple kids, I applaud you. If you don't see me until spring, don't worry, I'm fine. Just, I now have like multiples and they're young. So yeah, my husband was such an angel. He, you don't hear any kids right now because he took them out of the house. And for that, I am incredibly grateful to him. So in a record amount of time, I tried to get myself together as best I could. I'm wearing a shirt that doesn't have spit up or poop on it. So a win is a win. I think one of the biggest things that I'm learning right now, and it's something that I already knew, but knowing something and having to put it into motion are two different things. But something that I truly understand and feel in my bones now is that time is precious and you have to use it wisely. So whereas when we just had our son, I felt like we didn't have to plan or be as strategic. Everything could be kind of done or talked about loosely. We can no longer afford to wing things. We have to be very strategic about our days. We have to have really great communication with one another, and we have to get ready pretty much 2 to 3 hours sooner if we want to leave the house on time. And that is kind of where we're at. I haven't really worn real clothes for quite some time. I don't know where I'm at size-wise right now. And again, totally okay. I'm not rushing myself. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to get back to pre-baby weight. I think before I was maybe a size... No, I was not a size 4. Let me not lie. I was a size 6. I don't know what size I am now, and I think I'm okay with that. I also don't know what bra size I am because I am nursing, and I was nursing with all 3 of my kids, and every time I do, like, I am just like double D's and then they go back down. My husband, bless his heart, got me clothes for Christmas and it didn't fit. I think last pregnancy I maybe would have been a little bit more self-conscious about that. But I don't have the energy or the bandwidth to care about minor things like that right now. And I also think, you know, it's just like this season of kind of accepting and embracing. Like, life is too short, right, to just be putting all of this pressure on ourselves. And I am not a fan of snapback culture by any means. My body is going to do what it's going to do. My husband loves me and accepts my body. So if there are any hangups, they're mine and mine alone to get through, because he's not putting any pressure on me. There's no pressure on me at work to get down to a certain size. And I love that for myself. Some of our new challenges right now look like, wow, how do we get 2 kids on the same sleep schedule so that we can have a sliver of sanity left? And we don't have the answers yet. So please, any parents of multiples watching, please chime in on how you got your kids on the same sleep schedule. Sorry, I just had a brain fart. And in that moment of silence, then started thinking about how nice this silence is. I think the biggest thing that has helped me and also helped our family this time around is meals. We did a meal train at the baby shower. We also just asked people to either give us gift cards for meals or diapers. Like, we really only needed essential things because we already had stuff from the other kids. So we didn't need a lot. And I think that anybody that is having a baby, you should ask for food. I also did a lot of meal prepping ahead of this pregnancy, so that sustained us for a little while. And I think that is going to be something that we just have to implement permanently, because we just, again, have to be more strategic in like our time and how we're structuring the days now. I'm also trying to be really mindful of how much I'm leaning on our oldest daughter. Like, I don't want her to ever feel like she is watching or looking after her siblings so much that it is taking away from her free time and that she's not able to be a kid. But I do want her to acknowledge that, this is, a responsibility. This is a new member of the family. And where we are right now, we just kind of are in an all hands on deck situation. So, sometimes you might have to watch your siblings and sometimes you might have to help while I'm cooking and baby is crying. But it is that delicate balance between leaning on her enough just as a show of, hey, we trust you and we know you're responsible enough to help out in this way with your siblings, but then still honoring and respecting her free time so that she's not babysitting all the time. What else is happening in this postpartum survival era? My husband and I able to get a lot of time together right now? No. We are very much a team. We are very much like taking different shifts and alternating to do what needs to be done. And at the end of the day, with whatever sliver of time we have left, we might turn on like a trash TV show or, something, or just kind of like talk for a little bit. But there isn't a lot of time for each other the way there was before. But I think we also had very realistic expectations so that we weren't thrown off and derailed by just what this season of parenthood is asking of us right now. And I'm so grateful for like our growth. Like having all these kids together really makes me appreciate and love my husband even more. Like I am really grateful that I picked the right partner for this, because this is not for the weak. And sometimes you wake up and you're not at 100. You're maybe at 70 or 45 if you had a really bad night. And to have somebody that's able to like pick up your slack or just take on the mental load of maintaining a home and maintaining the kids with you is really such a blessing. We don't have a lot of razzle dazzle going on right now. We are moment by moment, we are day by day, weather permitting. My husband wanted to go on a date, a family date, of course, to go see Mufasa. So if we're able to get out of the house, we will go to a matinee and see a movie, which I'm kind of excited about. Whatever form or fashion our dates look like right now, I am accepting it and I am all in. So if that means we gotta schlep the kids with us, then so be it. So fingers crossed that we are able to get out of the house tomorrow and do that. One thing that I was really nervous about was how our son was going to handle a new sibling. I didn't know if he was going to be jealous or just like start regressing with his behavior and, all the things that people warn you about. But this boy loves his little sister so much. The way he pokes those big juicy lips out to cover her with kisses 24/7. Nobody gets as many kisses as his baby sister. He is so attuned to any little cry or noise that she makes. He's always wanting to hold her. And I'm like, wow, I really stressed myself out for nothing. It's like he already has these natural big brother protective instincts. And it really warms my heart to see as baby grows up and as, their relationship and bond develops. And as our oldest, continues to step into her big sister role. Like, I'm just excited to see their relationship strengthen over the years. I also have two sisters. I'm the middle child. And let me tell you, like, I do not know where I would be without my sisters. What does my self-care look like right now? Right now, all I'm doing is the basics, but I'm so appreciative. Like, I enjoyed a hot shower before, but baby, a hot shower now to myself in this winter weather where I can just have like 10 minutes without the kids is everything. Chef's kiss. Where was this appreciation before? So it's crazy how having more kids makes you appreciate the little things. Self-care for me right now is if I pour a cold brew and I can still drink it while it's cold before it gets like room temp, win. If I make a hot cup of coffee or a hot cup of tea and I can drink it without having to reheat it 3 or 5 more times throughout the day, win. If I'm able to do any part of my skincare routine, also a win. I think, was it last night or like 2 nights ago, it was maybe 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Our son was down, the baby was down, up, you know, doing her baby thing, wanting to feed she was probably cluster feeding that night. I don't even remember. Every day is a blur. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I randomly got the urge to give myself a pedicure. And I was like, this might not make any sense really to do right now in the moment, but I just really wanted to do something for myself right then and there. And I got tired of looking at my toes because the dogs were barking. And it felt really good to do something for myself. So I think that as random as those feelings and urges might be, if I feel led to do something for myself, I'm just going to do it. That's something else that I recommend to new moms. Like, the baby will be fine. All right. People are always like, how's the baby? How's the baby? How's the baby? The baby is fine. The baby will be fine. The baby has more than enough that she needs. How are you? What do you need? Do not feel bad about putting things on this registry that will make you a better mom and just person to be around, because if the mom is not good, nobody is good. If you need some self-care, throw it on that registry. How have I been balancing my friendships during this postpartum season? My closest friends are totally aware and supportive and understanding of the fact that I just had a baby. And I am so grateful to have a circle that does not take offense if I'm not responding in 1 to 3 business days. Right now, it's looking like 2-week response times sometimes, which is crazy to me. But I have people around me that understand that are moms as well. And they're like, girl, like, don't even worry about it. And we're able to just kind of pick up where we left off. I don't necessarily have the time or the capacity to sit on the phone for like 1 to 2 hours right now. Because when I have the time, it's like, all right, I'm going to take a nap. But yeah, just having people around you that are supportive and understanding, I think is amazing. My husband hasn't officially taken paternity leave, but he has not been working the amount of hours that he normally does. He does have flexibility and freedom in kind of how he structures his day, which I am very grateful for, because it just like allows us to just kind of create like a more fluid day based on what the needs are. We are still figuring out how we're going to get any real work done. Like on my end, you know, when I do work, I work out of town. I'm in New York, or I might be flying out. What does that look like if I get called to a job and it's just me, or it's me and 2 babies? You know, am I ready to travel alone with 2 kids? Is my husband ready to be home alone with the kids if I'm the only one getting booked for a job? When it comes to content creation, you know, like, I know it can get done. I know I'm not the first person in the world to have multiples. It's just that we have not figured out how it's going to work for us yet. But, you know, again, even me sitting here right now, being able to talk to you guys without having to like stop and, you know, run after a child or change a diaper, is because my husband had the idea to just load up the car, pick up our oldest from school, and just give me this hour, which I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And that's his first time, you know, having all the kids in the car and leaving. So we're still figuring out what works for us and how and where we can like return the favor. So like, he's doing this for me, so I know that something's going to come up where he needs to go out for like 1 or 3 hours, and I want to be able to confidently say, hey, I got this, you know, go do your thing. I think overall, I've just had to lower my expectations. The house is not always going to be clean. I'm not going to be able to, like, I'm a visual person, you know, so even if I'm making my family dinner, like, I want to plate things and make it look all pretty and aesthetic. And right now we're doing the lunch lady slop, you know, because it's not important how it looks. It's important that you got fed. You know, I don't have time for the aesthetics right now. Just giving myself like grace, endless grace, and accepting the season that we're in. You know, I just can't afford to put any unnecessary pressure on myself And I think having unrealistic expectations would put more pressure not only on me, but on our family as a whole. Like everybody has stuff going on. Everybody has stuff that they're doing. You know, my daughter is, you know, looking and applying for different high schools. You know, she's on a sports team. She has her after school activities. Like everybody has their own world that they're managing and their own day-to-day tasks. And then we come together and have, you know, all the stuff that we have to do and balance as a family within our home. Now, do I have moments where I'm like maybe looking at other like content creators and I'm like, wow, their house is spotless. They're managing everything, you know, they're at least what it looks like, right? Like sometimes I look online and I'm like, how in the world are these women managing their home and their kids and their relationships and their friends and then still creating content about it? Like how? Show me your ways, because I'm not there. I do think I'm going to get there eventually, but I'm not there right now. And if I am, it's like on a whim, like definitely not on a consistent basis. This postpartum season is all about being present and just being intentional and slowing it down. I am an introvert, so I don't really have a huge pull to be out and about. And I think that is helping me in this season because I don't really have that much FOMO. With every pregnancy, with every child I've had, and the deeper I am in this motherhood thing, it's really changing me. Like with every birth, I come out a different person. And I don't know if I would have had this much grace or this much patience with myself and just my loved ones the first time around. I can see myself responding differently in the moment than old me would have. I'm just really grateful. I'm taking it slow. My family is good. I'm good. So on that note, I would love to hear from you. How has life been for you since having kids? How is your postpartum journey? I am in the trenches with you and you are not alone. Speaking of the family, look who just came home. Were you being a good boy?
Did you finish?
Yeah.
Good.
Just finished. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode, What's Your Style?